Hello YouTubers! I know I'm supposed to be doing another installment on the HE20C Lafayette, but I haven't done any more with it. But I will get it done. There's not really a whole lot left to do. Swap out these meter faces, see what's going on with the tunable receive, and sort crystals out. Some of these are off frequencies. Best I can remember, that's all's left. I haven't messed with it in so long. I'll have to go back and look at my old videos to know where I'm at and what needs to be done. But I decided to do video this time because, well, I decided to do a video of this radio. I haven't had this very long, but I've used it. Well, this will be the third day I've used it. I've used it on AM and upper lower sideband. I really like this guy. This is a nice radio. It's got, from what I read online, internally it's the same. It's the same radio as the 135 XLR base station. And I do know, now that I've read online, and I can believe that, you know, because Cobras tend to be that way, Cobra / Uniden. So this is not a Uniden built radio. This is, I don't think this is Cybernet either. I kind of suspect Toshiba, and I'm going to show some, I'll show some video clip at the inside so can get everybody's opinion who you think made this. I do know it's also the same exact radio. It's the same exact radio as the Tram D62, because I've seen some pictures of the inside of a D62 online, and it's identical to the insides of this 132 XLR. So, you know, whoever made this radio manufactured those D62s for Tram as well. It's in pretty good condition, as you can see. The bracket is not original. It's a Cobra 29 bracket, been bent out. It's got the old style cases. It's kind of got like a vinyl or pleather, you know, type material. There is some screws that go around the back of these cases that's missing. I'll probably see about finding some replacements eventually for them. She's not all skinned up. Chrome's pretty good shape. Face, I've got some scratches between the squelch and RF gain controls. Some small ones between volume and squelch. Overall, pretty nice. The knobs are original. Everything on this radio is original. Clarifier stock, not been opened up. Got on 38 lower side listening. I think DX starting to roll out a little bit. Before I started shooting this, I mean, there was even more, you know, than what there is right now. Good sounding. Sounds good on transmit and receive both. This is the speaker in the radio too. The only mod that's been done, I didn't look to see if it had been tuned. I suspect it's been tuned at some point. But channels have been put on this RF modulation switch. And I read in the original manual on these that this switch controls this one, because I wondered why my SWR, you know, calibrate and read functions didn't work either. And I read in the manual, well, you have to have, I think, this set on RF for this to work. So when they disconnected this switch to jump the PLL chip for channels, it also, you know, made those non-functional. Not a big deal. It's undoable, but I'm going to leave it that way because it'll go to the triple nickel and above. So it's actually usable, and for now, I plan to just leave it as is. I'm going to show, like I said, I'm going to show some video clips of the insides. And I might even do a video clip, you know, me actually talking on it, make some DX contacts. Think about doing that. Nothing real super unique about her. It has the mode indicator that changes color depending on what mode you're in. Almost identical to that Royce 639 I showed quite a long time ago. Other functions, like I said, this is channels now. It no longer reads modulation percentage. Meter's different than later radios. It's just a black background, and all markings are in green. I actually like it. I find it easy to read. As mentioned, these two no longer work. This is extra channels. This is non-functional since this has been disconnected. It's got an automatic noise limiter and an automatic noise limiter with noise blanker. Now with the noise blanker on, it does attenuate the receive. This has got a very aggressive noise blanker. A lot of times, I don't have much noise, I was running on A&L only. It doesn't hurt the receive, but that noise blanker, that guy is. See that? I don't know if that's really. See, the needle jumps down, audio goes down. I mean, this guy attenuates the receive. It is aggressive. Doesn't really show it on him, he's so strong. But on like a normal signal, say like an S3, S5, it'll knock them back about an S unit or more when you kick that on. Regular PACB, it's got a bright dim. I've actually got it on dim right now. You know, I'd really hate to. I kind of been running on dim because I don't want these LEDs to really ever burn out. Might be hard to find some replacements for it. Already showed that changes colors, channel selector, volume on off squelch. The outside is SWR cow, which no longer is functional since you know, this has been disconnected here for channels. RF gain. It's got a dynamite, and the clarifier's not been modified, and I've read the clarifiers, I think, are extremely hard to, you know, open up on these anyways. And honestly, I don't care for open clarifiers. I mean, if they have a dual pot one, that's okay, you know, originally, but if it's an original radio, it was receive only clarifier, and if that's the way it is when I get it, I leave them alone. I think that's it for the features. I guess I can show a little AM receive on it. Well, I was hoping somebody with some sound quality would be on there. No such luck. Wow, that's awful. Okay, that's enough of that.
You don't want none of this. Tell him go watch the game. Tell him go watch the game. Oh, I forgot. He don't like basketball. Oh, no, I can't be a player either. I see it.
Anyways, I think that does it all for the basic functions of the radio. I'll graph in some clips of the insides, and you know, maybe a video gate, maybe, we'll see. Okay, a little bit of short video clip of the back of the radio. I'll zoom in a little bit more. As you can see, it is made in Japan. This is not the typical, you know, chassis, cabinet, or even power cord setup of a normal Cobra. This is not built by Uniden. This hardwire straightener radio with a strainer leaf. The data tag is much different than, you know, later Cobra radios. This is where those little black screws go that I mentioned were missing. I need to find some suitable replacements for it. The case comes apart much differently. I mean, you know, they just slide, they lift apart. You know, it's two-piece cabinet deal, but without these screws in the back, the only thing that holds it is the bracket nuts on the side. So I'm gonna take this guy apart and show you the insides. Okay, I've ditched the tripod and gone back to my amateurish, noobish, you know, freehand the camera, because frankly, that's just what works best for me. Audio chip. Now see, this is the solder side of the board. Here's the front of the radio. Solder side of the board is up, and a lot of you that know a lot about radios will notice right off this definitely doesn't look anything like a Uniden, does it? And look, we got your audio chip. It's on the solder side of the board. I'm assuming that's a voltage regulator. I haven't looked it up. Yeah, I need to move the camera, I guess. Audio chip is a TA720. It's a TA7205P, and it is made by Toshiba. I know somebody in my Sears radio video asking about who made it mentioned that Toshiba used green regulators, you know, a lot. So that's possibly a regulator. I haven't looked it up, but it's definitely green. As you can see, we've got transistors and regulators over on the side here. If my camera will focus. It's funny how I move the zoom a little bit and it'll focus better. Definitely not Uniden. You know, I don't know who made this guy. It's got a board number. Looks like KNTA001 or I don't know, a space and a C. None of that means anything to me. I noticed the lids, here's the top. Somebody's broke. See, there used to be copper finger tabs that they're showing right here. You know, it'd probably be better if I just turn this around so you can actually see it. Notice it's showing how to insert these tabs. And of course somebody, I've seen a lot of 32 XLRs in my time, but not many. You know, in the flesh, this may be the first 132 XLR I've seen. I can't remember exactly, but I've had some 32 XLRs. They're like this too, with these copper fingers, and many times they are broken because people don't get rough with them, don't know about them, don't know what they're doing. But I thought that was kind of a little different. You know, shows the graphic. There's a graphic on the other cover I'll show here in a bit. I think for this side, it's about all I need to show. Lots of ribbon connections from, you know, main board up to the front. So I'm gonna take the bottom, you know, speaker side off and show you there. Okay, here we go, top side. It's got an old school, you know, kind of oval-like speaker. It's a 16 ohm, 3 watt. It's got that same little graphic, you know, on this cover, and the fingers are broken off of it as well. There's actually a board up on the front end. I guess, you know, maybe Sharp's a possibility on this guy as well. I don't know. I'm thinking Sharp or Toshiba. You know, or possibilities of who might have made this radio. There's another board, you know, designator on the top side. Everything is marked on top. Bottom side, solder side wasn't. Top side has, you know, reference numbers, shows polarities. There are test points in this radio. Some of the crystal mixing. Looks like there's a 5.120. This uses an odd, and that's what all these XLR, like the 32 XLR, the 132 XLR, the 135 XLR base, and the Tram D62 use this, and probably the D42 as well. And I ain't verified that, so don't take that as fact. But I suspect it does too, because it's probably the same thing as a 32 XLR Cobra. But they take this weird, you know, TC5080P, that's the PLL chip right there. It's not a common PLL chip. Another mixer crystal, looks like a 12.056, definitely not common, you know, reference, you know, mixed crystals. Old school crystal filter. Made by Nico Denshi company. I'm sure it's probably Japanese made. Looks like a single pole, possibly single pole relay in it. That's the back side of the audio chip and what was probably a regulator. Like I said, I haven't looked that particular device up to see what its purpose even is. Doesn't have all the shielding in it. I mean, the only real shielding I see in here is just some side shielding here. You know, it's not like that Sears radio I showed. I mean, I wouldn't call this bad, you know, quality or anything, but it's, you know, it's a different beast, that's for sure. It doesn't have all the shielding in it like that radio has. A little bit of an unusual channel selector assembly. And a little bit of an unusual, you know, how got an old school terminal strip, you know, like a hand wired, hardwired, you know, terminal strip mounted back here that the your positive negative DC connections go to. And over here's where we get into our you know, probably driver and final, and I guess some regulators as well. I'm not 100% sure. There's the back side of that. There's a lot of meat, you know, in that heatsink material. I'll give it that. You know, it's a good performing old radio. They're not real common. You know, I didn't have the highest expectations out of it, but you know, it really doesn't seem like a bad rig. What little I've run it so far. Anyways, if I do any more on this, it'll be video gate, you know, maybe of making some contacts on like 38 lower side or something like that. Really isn't any more to say nor show, so I'm gonna end it here, folks. 73s, everybody. I hope you enjoyed seeing this vintage old rig.